and welcome to a brand new episode of the podcast entitled Couch Potatoes Unite! Which is based on a blog of the same name. I used to tell a joke here, but new year, new rules! If you missed the joke, let us know. I'm betting you probably don't. My name is Kylie and I love TV. If you feel the same, keep listening and or checking out our website, couchpotatoesunite.wordpress.com, as you're bound to find some common ground or something you like. For Couch Potatoes Unite, we're all about the wonders and the unique long-form storytelling of the small screen. CPU, ! Hopes you've been following releases of brand new episodes of the podcast on Wednesdays, as well as new blog entries on some Tuesdays, and as always, we have several more new episodes on the way. Because the panelists and I live live behind our podcast, the episodes are published once per week. Subscribe to the blog or the podcast via iTunes, Stitcher Radio, and via Google Play to stay on top of brand new episodes. Episodes already published discuss a variety of shows around the water cooler, including but not limited to How to Get Away with Murder, Sherlock, Unbreakable Kimmy Schmidt, Marvel Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., New Girl, A Series of Unfortunate Events, The Vampire Diaries, The Originals, Orange is the New Black, The X-Files, and the DC Television Universe or Arrowverse on the CW. Plus, new episodes are in the works, including revisits for Once Upon a Time, Gotham, Doctor Who, Game of Thrones, Stranger Things, American Horror Story, Fuller House, and the Marvel's Defenders panel will review the first season of The Punisher, a final visit with our Broadchurch panel to say goodbye to the mystery drama from across the pond. We'll be launching new panels covering Sense8, Grace and Frankie, The Good Place, and iZombie, and because we look back at shows now past, we'll be looking back at one of our most popularly requested panels of the whole time, Friends, as well as a one and gone series called Battle Creek. What's more, CPU also goes live. We've been live from The Bunker, comedy outlet Mondays at Dog Story Theater, and Grand Rapids Comic-Con. And we're planning more live appearances and other cool stuff, so make sure you like us at our Facebook page, our Twitter, follow us at CPU Podcast, our Instagram at Couch Potatoes Unite, and or our Pinterest at CPU Podcast, or subscribe to the blog, our YouTube channel, our iTunes channel, our Stitcher Radio channel, or find us on Google Play. In the meantime, if you don't hear your show in this podcast format, fellow panelists and I still write reviews, and we're always seeking new panelists. So if you have any interest in joining the discussion, say hello by finding us at any of those outlets I've mentioned. At the very least, stop by and leave us a thumbs up, comment, or review. We like feedback. The non-lethal, send our spirits back to the pits they came from kind of feedback anyway. Today, we're around the water cooler and checking in at mid-season 13 of long-running cult favorite Supernatural, which airs September through May on the CW. Season 13 premiered on October 12, 2017. Again, Supernatural is an American fantasy horror series created by Eric Kripke. It was first broadcast on September 13, 2005 on the WB, and subsequently became part of successor the CW's network lineup. Starring Jared Padalecki as Sam Winchester and Jensen Ackles as Dean Winchester, the series follows the two brothers as they hunt demons, ghosts, monsters, and other supernatural beings in the world. The series is produced by Warner Brothers Television in association with Wonderland Sound and Vision. Our Supernatural panel experienced a changeover since we last gathered together. One panelist departed the podcast for life's greater journeys. Two illustrious panelists, namely Nick and Jen, stuck around, and two panelists, namely Jeremy and Kelsey, are taking a temporary hiatus until end of season. This means, gentle listener, that we have one vacancy on the panel. If you would like to join, contact us at couchpotatoesunitepodcast@gmail.com or message us via Facebook, Twitter, or Instagram. This also means that we have half the panel at the halfway point through the season. It sort of fits. In the meantime, what is left of our ragtag group of demon hunters has again gathered around the water cooler to discuss the current goings-on of this epic long-running series about the two monster-hunting Winchester brothers. Ready as we always are to hit the road in our trusty 67 Chevy Impala named Baby, and to get started, it should as always be noted that all of our panelists have viewed the entire series throughout the 13th or through the 13th mid-season finale and may discuss sensitive plot points. So, for those of you who haven't watched any Supernatural and plan to catch up at some point, listen at your own risk, as there are going to be major spoilers. Welcome back, half the panel. How are you?
Good.
Oh, good.
Good. Are you ready to talk about what has aired so far? Minus the two, because we are actually recording this and we'll publish this after 2 episodes of the second half have aired. We're just going to talk about the first half. Are you ready to do so?
Yes, that's the first 9 episodes, I believe.
I believe you are correct.
Yes, yeah. I'm ready to talk about it. I hope so.
Okay. That's as good as we can get, I guess. So, of course, I do have to check your temperature because it is, that's what we do. We have to check the level of awesomeness or lack thereof, depending upon the story evolution. And I have a standard CPU character question, which changes with each show we do. I have tweaked the supernatural scale again, not much, but enough. It goes like this. Are you watching or do you watch Supernatural because hunting is your life and or because you love the show, hunting, and or the show about hunting? For you, it's keep grinding until the end or until you die. Also, you're really into Baby, that is the Impala, most fried meats, the awesome use of classic rock and pie, or you watch it because your brother watches it, like Dean Winchester. Do you watch it because you were reluctantly convinced to watch the show about the lives of two brothers demon hunting, but now you can't imagine your life without the show or demon hunting? Also, you're deeply concerned by the moral implications of what the brothers do and the inherent good and evil impulses of humans, the beings you hunt, angels and demons. Or you watch it because your brother watches it, like Sam Winchester. Do you watch it because your best friend watches it? And or because your best friend is deeply committed to hunting? And even though you shouldn't really be involved with his or her actions or decisions, you trust your best friend's judgment and moral center. Also, even when you think you want to stop watching it or are forced to stop watching it for some external influence or reasons, something always manages to pull you back no matter how improbable. You're basically along for the supernatural ride, though you secretly enjoy it, like Castiel. You don't know what to make of it anymore. It could be good, it could be bad, you don't know. All you know is that you need to watch it, it's comfortable to you, and the Winchesters and Cass are like family to you, and so you persist in watching on that passion or need alone, like Jack, or you don't want to watch it or watch it anymore, for the most part, except when the devil comes to town. For whatever reason, you are exceptionally drawn to the Lucifer character, particularly as played by Mark Pellegrino, and he keeps you hanging on, sometimes for good, sometimes for sheer evil. What can you say? You can't keep a stubborn archangel down, and you really want to know what happens with Lucifer's son. Like Lucifer. Who would like to start?
I can start.
Okay.
Nick here.
Hi, Nick. Last time you were Sam? Question mark. That's literally how you said it.
Oh, that sounds about right. I'll stay Sam.
Okay. Any reason?
I mean, it's still true. I reluctantly started watching the show, even though that was a long time ago now. I'm enjoying the storyline, and I want to keep watching it. So I don't want to add anyone to that, but I feel like it doesn't fully represent where I am. But it's the closest of the options. Sam. Done.
All right. Welcome back, Nick.
Thanks.
And this is Jen.
Hi, Jen.
I guess it's the only...
You're the only one over here. We're half the panel. And I hope they're listening.
So I was Sam and Dean, right? Before?
You were Sam and Dean.
I'm definitely Dean, but I'm thinking I'm only Dean.
Okay.
Sure. Yeah.
So you really love it? You're back to really loving it now?
Yeah.
Oh.
All right.
Yeah.
Cool.
I got it down to one. I don't
You
think that's ever
did.
happened.
Not probably on this panel, no.
Not on any of the panels.
You've had a couple, maybe.
Three.
Yeah. But I think it bodes well that you're back to Dean, because before you were like all of them except Crowley.
Now you can't be Crowley.
No, he left.
Yeah.
Welcome back, Jen. And of course, I'm Kylie. I'm part of the half, and I am still Dean. I mean, I was Dean. I will never probably not be Dean. I'm always going to love this show, even if I shouldn't love this show. Even if you all came to me and said, Kylie, you are crazy for loving this show, I would probably still love this show.
Even if the brothers are replaced by two other actors.
Okay, maybe not, but then I wouldn't be Dean anymore.
No, it'd be still Dean. They just replaced
soap opera replacement.
They did it to what's-his-face that plays Dean.
I jumped the shark then.
On One Life to Live. Was that one?
Oh, yeah.
Days of Our Lives that he played on. That Jensen.
Oh.
His character got replaced by another actor when he left, and they just slid. Like, literally, he was taking
That's
a
what
shower.
soap operas do.
They were literally, he was taking a shower, and then the next show comes, they turn around, and it's a whole different guy.
Some shows would do a voiceover. The character of such and such will now be played by...
I guess I just don't watch soap operas, which
Anyways.
is true, listener. There's a reason why there are no soap operas on the CPU. However, if you'd like to moderate a panel about soap operas, we are open to that. Well, welcome, Nick and Jen, to our intimate setting today. There might be a few comments that way, but we're going to talk about the first half of season 13, lucky number 13, which makes it a very long-running show. It keeps on trucking. This is the season in which we're basically watching the evolution of Lucifer's devilish Nephilim son, Jack. We don't know where Jack's alignment is right now. And I'm going to start with the basic question. What do you think? What do you like? What don't you like so far?
I like the actor. I think he's doing a good job.
Who's playing Jack?
Yeah, that's playing Jack. And I do like the way that's going. I mean, I'm trying to decide whether there was something I feel like in the first episode or two that I didn't like. But then I got over that and as it went on. But I can't remember exactly what that would be.
I don't like that Dean was like, Mom's dead.
Maybe that's what, because he closed himself off, basically, and he was like, and yeah, maybe that was it.
It was Mom's dead, and he wanted nothing to do with Jack.
Yeah.
But I guess Cass was dead too, so, in his mind.
Yeah, he lost quite a few people.
But that he didn't think there was any hope for Mary was bizarre to me, because the Winchesters, they fight no matter what. How many times have both of them died, and the other one didn't give up on them? So I didn't necessarily like that aspect of it, but I like the overall storyline, which I think we were all a little nervous going into season 13 what they were going to do, but I like where they are going overall.
I also like I do like where they're going mostly. I am always happy to see Mark Pellegrino.
Yeah.
I think he's very enjoyable. I think he enjoys playing Lucifer, and probably more than Mark Shepard enjoyed playing Crowley, and that comes out of it a little bit. The Jack storyline is very interesting, and the reason why it's very interesting is because not many people have done something like this the way Supernatural is doing it. I mean, there have been Antichrist, and there have been, horror-related themes around this kind of situation, but Jack right now is exposed to a good influence, and also happens to be apparently very powerful. In fact, Sam says at some point that he learns from the lore. I want to know where this lore comes from, by the way.
Yeah, right.
They have a lot of information.
So a Nephilim is part angel and part human.
Correct.
Right?
Yes.
But so
there is lore on that.
he's
X-Files
part
lore.
archangel, right?
He's part
That's-
archangel, yes.
So that's what makes him even more powerful, is because of that, right?
Yeah.
Because he's Lucifer's
Lucifer
child, yeah.
is the angel in question.
Right.
For sure, but then Sam also says in that episode where Prophet Donatello comes back.
Yeah.
Is that the Western one? It's something.
Yes.
I think it is the
It
Western.
is the Western one.
Yeah, he actually reads somewhere that Nephilim become more powerful than the angels that sire them.
So he's more powerful than Lucifer.
Did they
Correct.
say that? I don't remember.
He comes
that.
right out and says it.
Yeah.
Yep.
And we see
Almost
that.
as a throwaway, because when he said it, I was like,
Maybe that's what I must have. I don't really remember that.
that's what he said. So he's
But it makes sense, kind of, I mean, I guess. Maybe that's why the
I
angels
could go
want
either
him
way,
so
though,
much.
because it's watered down by could be watered down by the human, but it's the human that's making them more powerful, is my guess.
possibly, yeah. Plus, he's yellow-eyed.
Yes.
They keep coming back. We've met the fourth Prince of Hell.
Asmodeus.
Yes.
I'm on the fence on him.
I am too. I don't know.
Seems more like a cartoon of a character.
I know, there were more interesting Princes of Hell.
It's almost like it's the comic relief of the
Like-
show. Like,
I think there's...
I just laugh every time he comes.
But for me, it doesn't seem
It
like
just
they
is-
have decided if it's comic or not, but it's coming off as it is.
And maybe it's the actor that's bringing that. I don't know. It just...
He's got a white suit and an accent. It's hard for me to get
I just
past
think
Colonel
of-
Sanders.
I was just about to say, I think of Colonel Sanders every time.
Uh-huh.
I think they're trying to fill the void left by Mark Shepard because Crowley was off in the comic relief. And he is conveniently positioned right now to be the temporary, although he's trying to make it permanent, King of Hell. And Lucifer, at least to start the season, with an apocalypse world.
Right.
With Mary. And he's got a few cut-ups, but it's always much more sarcastic for him. Not as much sort of the shtick that came with Crowley. Crowley was sarcastic and shticky at the same time. Now Asmodeus, or whatever his name is.
Asmodeus.
Asmodeus.
Yeah. I think he's just here to bring some shtick back to hell.
Yeah.
He's not sarcastic.
No, he's not.
Or very clever, might I add.
As of right now, I agree that he's filling that void, that Crowley, but I hope he doesn't fill it in the way of, this is a recurring character that will be back next season or in too many episodes. Unless there's, I don't know, he might grow on me. We'll see.
Yeah, I'm not sure either, and I just want to know why they keep coming back to the Princes of Hell. We spent a lot of time in our last episode talking about this, and there's no answer yet.
Right, and my nervousness there is that they've come back to the Princes of Hell because they don't know where else to go. Not because they want to go there.
Maybe. I gotta believe that they have something of an end in mind at this point.
The more we're seeing of Jack's powers, the more I feel like they know where they're going to end with him, because I don't think he can stick around too long, because he can wipe anyone and everything out pretty easily.
It's kind of like what they did with God's sister. What's her face?
Amara.
Yeah. She was so powerful. And, look at what happened with her, so I think you're right.
She's still off talking to her brother.
Well, forever.
I know, you're very concerned about this, Jen. You mentioned
I have already resigned to the fact that they're done with that. Like, they're not going to, until the very end of, the show is canceled, the last thing.
I don't know. I think we'll see them end the whole last season. I think they'll be the whole last season storyline.
Maybe. I'll give you that. Maybe
because who's going to be bigger than God and God's sister, the darkness? Even with Jack and Lucifer hanging around,
Why did they give him the name Jack, by the way?
I don't know.
He's just big old bad, powerful person.
He exploded out of his mom, and his name was Jack.
The dumbest name, sorry.
Nick's son is named Jack.
No, it's fine for everyone. In TV land, it should be something more...
Like Asmodeus?
Yeah.
I think they're running out of weird names.
Would you prefer Colonel Sanders?
It just should be a
Damien.
Name. Damien, there you go.
Well, that would be copyright infringement.
Right. I don't know what it would be, but it just... Anyway.
I don't mind the use of Jack. What's wrong with Jack?
It's Jack and the Beanstalk is what I always think of.
But maybe it's that name because he's going to fall more on the side of good, or they want us to think he is, as opposed to...
I'm thinking he is.
Because he's already said Sam and Dean and Cass are his family, is what we leave off on.
And I think he's a chaotic neutral. I think that's his alignment right now.
There.
So
I used to always be chaotic neutral.
What did you just say?
He called you a
You'll have to listen again.
Oh, well, talk about the pot, Mr. Kettle. Just saying. We do a lot of these. What else did you like or not like?
I didn't like, which has kind of changed now, but when... Like he said earlier, with Dean not didn't want nothing to do with Jack, or wanted to kill Jack, whatever, that kind of made me upset. He didn't even give him a chance. He wouldn't even give him a chance. But Sam was, willing to take him on and, nurture him and everything. But Dean was just... It almost seems like Dean has gotten so cold this season. And it's changing now, but at first, it just seems like he just walled off and...
I didn't mind this, and the reason why I didn't mind this is because the point he makes is that so much crap has happened to them, and I think that Cass by himself, because Cass has, died, come back a couple times, but for him, I think the real straw that broke everything inside was Mom. Mom is the one that, Dean seems much more attached to Mary than Sam does.
Yeah.
And
because he remembers her.
He remembers
Sam
her.
Doesn't.
And
a baby.
We talked a lot about the last time about how Sam and John were very similar people, and I think Dean really relates to Mary. Mm-hmm. They're very similar people, and there's a piece of him and his mom, And so I think a lot of that, and why I bought it, was he was just numb. A lot of it was numbness, and he didn't want to get attached to somebody new because he lost so many that he was attached to begin with. Sam's just a different person. He's sensitive. He's always been very compassionate toward people, and he also is very practical in ways that Dean is not. So he's sitting here thinking, we'd be nice to Jack. Jack helps us. In the meantime, the angels are hunting Jack because they're going extinct, and they think Jack can make new angels. That I don't understand.
I don't either. It's in the lore, I'm sure.
I'm sure it's in the lore.
Maybe
Where is the lore?
foreshadowing as to what's to come, is that he'll now be able to create
Well, and
angels.
that's my question. One of the things I put in the talking points for you to consider is the show positioning him to be like the successor of God? Because that's the irony. Lucifer wants to be like God, even though he's an angel. Jack is more powerful than the angel that sired him, Sam says. So what is Jack? And if he can create angels, wouldn't that make him God?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, as of now, God's the only one who made angels.
Right.
I don't know if that's necessarily what the show is setting up, but it's setting up that the angels believe that.
Yes. And then wouldn't it be interesting if Chuck came back and it was Chuck versus Jack?
Yeah.
Oh.
Oh, yeah. Interesting. I'm having a hard time with believing that Jack will be more powerful than Lucifer. I mean, Lucifer is Lucifer. I mean, Archangel.
True.
He was right up there with God at one point.
True, but right now he's a little bit tapped out because Kevin Tran in Apocalypse World tapped him out.
Yes, he doesn't have his powers, right?
He's getting
them back.
Yeah.
He could change his eyes.
He can change his eyes. He can maybe, spread his wings a little.
bit. Yeah, that's right, yeah. But that's where I'm kind of having a hard time believing that in the lore. Nephilim.
Where is the lore? Hashtag, where is
it's in
the
the
lore?
wasteland. I don't know. I don't know where
it's Donatello the prophet, right? I can't remember. Is there only one?
He's one.
No, there's more than one prophet.
Yeah.
Each prophet has its own role. I don't remember what his one. Kevin's was to read the tablets.
Right.
Chuck was a prophet until he became God. He was just styling himself as a prophet.
I feel like his was something to do. Didn't he keep important artifacts or things like the gun and? No, was that not him?
I can't remember.
All I know is that it's Keith Zajerbaika or whatever. He was Holt's on Angel.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I think a very different.
I knew I had seen him someplace. I hate that when I watch a show. I know you from some. Usually I look it up.
So I almost feel like he reads souls because one of the reason why he comes back is because he says he's drawn to Jack.
Yeah.
And even though Amara ate his soul, he is still making moral choices and being drawn to moral souls, which is another clue that Jack might be something different than what we have seen. Really, the mystery is Jack.
Yes.
Well, we don't really know what this is really going out there. Probably.
No, there is no such thing as Supernatural.
What's her face that had him? What is her name?
Kelly.
Was she just a human? What if she was more than it? What if she was an angel? I don't think
they hinted anything at her
they
being
haven't.
more
This
than.
is me making it up.
That's why she said it was out there.
That's why I said to try and come up with a reason why he might be more powerful than Lucifer. Is that maybe he isn't just part archangel, but part something else other than human?
Maybe.
I doubt it, but I'm just.
Yeah, I wouldn't rank that in the high chance.
I think they're going with
that
Donatello read in the lore that Nephilim are more powerful.
Sam did.
Sam, right?
Which makes it even weirder, because where is the lore?
Well, men of letters have information.
I guess.
Google it. Where is the lore in Supernatural?
Speaking of the man of letters and soap operas, that annoyed me.
Arthur Ketch coming back?
Mm-hmm.
Well, them even trying to pull the I'm his twin.
Oh, yeah.
That
Well, they haven't bought it
soap
either.
I know, but it's just weird.
I think the reveal that comes out of that is that he says Rowena gave him a spell to cheat death.
Mm-hmm.
So, how much you want to bet Rowena cast the same spell to cheat death?
Oh,
I was going to bring that up too. I forgot it was connected to Ketch. I couldn't remember
Besides, I know you love Rowena.
And I hated how they killed her off by telling us and kind of not showing us red hair. Then that was it. So if they're gonna kill her off, I'd like there to be more to it. But I also think it's hard to bring her back. There's enough to bring her back, but it's hard without her and Crowley.
Right.
Yeah.
Like, there was
And
a
he's
big
not
dynamic.
coming back, right? He's
I
done?
don't think the actor wants to come back.
Yeah. I mean,
That's what I
that
thought.
doesn't mean in a year or two he might be like, oh yeah, it'd be fun to do an episode, but I doubt it.
Yeah.
I wouldn't bet on it.
Yeah, I didn't.
I know.
I liked Crowley.
Yeah, so did I.
I did too. He's always been one of my favorite characters.
Mm-hmm.
And look at his journey over the course of the show.
Oh, yeah.
I do not like Rowena as much, though. However,
know.
I do feel... I always thought her alleged death was a red herring. Anyway.
He said red hair.
I punned it a little bit. So what else? What else happened this half season? We had Stupid Asmodeus. What about the Lucifer and Mary show? And Apocalypse World?
That was another... One of the reasons Fringe was hard for me was we had too many things going on. And I was worried we were going to get too much of the Apocalypse World, but I'm enjoying what we're getting of it.
Yeah, Jen thought it was going to be on the back burner. I don't think it's there, but it's definitely not overtaken anything either. Besides, Lucifer busted back through, so although Jack is now there, or as of the half season, Jack is there.
Right. With Mary.
Mm-hmm. What could that be like?
I don't know.
I don't know either.
We don't actually... I mean, obviously the darkness brought Mary back, but we don't know if there's lore more behind any of that.
Are you suggesting she's something other than human Mary?
Or she changed or somehow?
Or human Mary has more to her? I don't know. But she just appeared because as a gift from the darkness, and then we just moved forward the next season and just dealt with her being there. So they could live in that a little bit more and flesh out something to it. Because we got her dad back, and there was more to her dad when they did that storyline. It was played
Mary's dad, played by Mitch Pileggi.
Mm-hmm. So there might be more to Mary.
There might be. I don't know.
There might also be... No, did we find out that Mary was dead in the Apocalypse World? That version of her?
Yes.
I feel like we found that out from Bobby.
Yes.
Apocalypse Bobby.
Yes, we
All
did.
the Winchesters were related, were killed by angels in that world. But speaking of angels, in that world, who's alive and who's dead, Michael still exists.
Right.
Lucifer is gone.
Yeah, which I thought was interesting.
But yet, this Michael, who's wearing a different, quote, meat suit, is a lot different than the Michael that we met before in this world.
I mean, that Michael is probably going to be
The Lucifer-like person.
the big bad of the season.
I think so.
I think
Because
so.
that's what we usually know, who the big boss is, and Asmodeus is kind of being who they're setting it up, or at least is an enemy of the Winchester.
He's a red herring, too.
So it might be Michael.
I think
Lucifer's
it's
there,
Michael.
too.
Yeah.
But I feel
Lucifer
like Lucifer
also ran to Cass and said, we gotta do something about Michael.
Yeah, yep.
So I felt like that was pretty clear.
I forgot about Lucifer and Cass.
Yes, now there's going to be a Lucifer and Cass show. That's always fun. It was fun when Cass
That'll
was
replace the
being
Crowley.
What?
That'll replace Cass and Crowley.
Probably. As long as Cass calls Lucifer ass butt, I will be very happy. But I hope that if Michael does come through the breach, I wonder if they'll break the Michael that's in the cage here out. Because he's still down there. He's in the half-brother, whatever his name was.
Oh, yeah.
That's right.
I need to rewatch
I
this
forgot
show.
about that. There's so much to this. You forget, like, little things
I
like
forgot that
could
was
be
Michael.
potential big things. Yeah.
The other archangels are dead.
Yeah.
Because I feel like they need to bring that half-brother back.
They should.
I think they should.
But
And
Michael,
do
I
more
guess, is
than
crazy.
what they did on the musical episode where they acknowledged him and made you think, oh, maybe they'll go back to this, and then they still have it.
Well, they're doing the same thing with Sam's latent demonic abilities, too. They keep talking about it, and you keep thinking maybe we'll see Sam's powers come back that Azazel gave him, one of the princes of hell. But we have not seen that yet either.
So we've met all 4 princes of hell?
According to the show, yes. Azazel, Ramiel.
Who's Ramiel?
Ramiel was the one that last season who said that he's the one who made Crowley Prince. He had the cult.
Yes, he had the cult.
The cult that
That's
came
who
out
I
of the
was
woodwork.
getting. I
We were
was
like,
getting.
where the hell did the cult go? How
Yes,
did he
that's
get it?
right. I was getting him confused with Asmodeus, dude. I think, or
Asmodeus is
Colonel Sanders.
yes. According to Lucifer, Asmodeus is the runt of the litter.
Yes.
So we're implying he's the youngest. Ramiel was the oldest. Azazel
That's
and the
Lucy?
girl.
They were calling her
girl.
Lucy, I thought.
No, what is
The one who was protecting Kelly when she was pregnant?
Yes.
I don't remember her name.
I don't
though.
remember.
I don't
her name
remember
either.
her.
I guess I thought it was.
Did she not get killed?
She did get killed.
Yes, that's what
She
I thought.
did. Did Ramiel get killed? That's what I was
Yes.
Yes,
So
Ramiel
it's
got
just-
killed.
But the only one left is.
Asmodeus. Because Azazel's gone too. As of season 2 or 3. Whichever season that was.
And it took a while for them to come back to the Princes of Hell.
It did. Well, it's not something I think they were anticipating needing to go back to. I mean, that's one of the things we also talk about frequently on this panel is, your first 5 seasons were all mapped out by Eric Kripke. Ever since then, it's been kind of a one season by one season situation.
I feel like they need to sit down and map more than one season out.
I think they're trying to be mysterious about when they're ending. And it might even be a collusion between the network and whoever's running the show right now.
Yeah, I can see that.
It's so popular and it's got such a cult following, and it's still one of the highest rated on the network. That and the CW, the Arrowverse, are the highest rated ones. And Riverdale. Riverdale's crawling up there now. Oh, you crinkled your nose.
I've tried watching that show. I can't get into that one.
I've had requests. I haven't watched it yet.
I've
always
watched 3
behind.
I've only watched 3 episodes of the first season though, so
Oh,
I can't get past it.
okay.
Anyway.
Cool. We also know that Asmodeus, Colonel Sanders Asmodeus, wants to use Jack to break the Shadim out of hell. And almost did that one episode.
Yeah.
Yep.
And
But
it's
we don't know what the Shadim are.
other than they are, quote, hell's darkest creatures. That's
That
what
we've
they were described
never
as.
heard of. It's just
They're-
making stuff up.
From the lore.
Actually, I looked this up. There is an alternative outside of the Bible mythos around the Shadim.
What?
Really?
Yes.
I thought that was a made up thing.
No, not made up. So there is lore on the Shadim. And I buy it. This other stuff about Nephilims being more powerful and making angels, no, that's weird. I don't know where that came from. So do we think the Shadim will come out? What if Michael releases the Shadim?
Maybe.
Yeah, they're definitely going to do
Full
something with
apocalypse.
them. I don't think they just mentioned them for no reason.
As
Okay.
long as they're cooler than the Leviathan, I don't care.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. Agreed.
Definitely.
And we also had the return of Missouri Mosley, the psychic played by Loretta Devine, because we're setting up the Wayward Sisters. So let's talk, because that was a lot of this half season, because the backdoor pilot is coming in the next half season. So what do we think about the Wayward Sisters setup? We have Patience, we have Jody, we have the kid that's with Jody that was Castiel's daughter. Will be one of them.
She turned into a werewolf?
The one who turned into the werewolf, but she was cured.
Yep.
Yep.
Okay.
And then we have Kaya, who is the dream walker at the end of the mid-season.
Which I think is bringing on the whole dream walker business, adding that I think was something different that we hadn't seen
Yes.
yet. I thought was kind of neat. I also thought it was interesting that Jack could. Whoops, is that the same?
Yeah.
It
Jack
was.
would
He
touch
can-
their...
He can.
And he can go travel
Yeah, he
with
can
them.
travel
Open
with
the door.
them. So
That
that
was in
just
the very
shows.
last episode.
Okay, I knew it was towards the end, but anyway.
Jen's a little further ahead than the rest of us.
Yeah, I thought that was neat that he could do that. Just shows how much more powerful he is. Just another thing he can do. It's like, what can't he do?
Yeah.
That's the question.
That's why I don't think he'll be around too long.
You're right.
I think
He
he'll be
probably
up in
won't be.
heaven, or he'll sacrifice himself to defeat the Shadim or something.
I don't know. I don't know if I have a prediction. I don't know if I want to go. If I want Jack to go away, because I think he's added something. But what about the Wayward Sisters piece? Because we should talk about this. It's coming whether we want it to or not.
I'm gonna watch it. I'm nervous of what it might take away The last couple of times we met, I feel like we're always talking about what are they stretching here? What are they going to do? Storyline, and now we're going to split this universe, and what are the Wayward Sisters going to deal with?
I think they're going to go back to more run-of-the-mill hunting.
Just vampires, werewolves.
Probably.
Are there vampires left?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, there's...
Oh,
They killed an alpha.
They killed the alpha. No, there are no vampires left. Unless they change that.
The beta.
Right.
That's why I'm nervous.
Right now, there should be no vampires.
Patience is the daughter. Is that right?
Of Missouri.
Of Missouri, okay.
She's the granddaughter.
Granddaughter.
I'm trying to separate what I have seen recently and what was the end of this. We have not seen any of her abilities.
No,
She's shown some,
but
some
not
hints of psychicness.
Okay.
She knew that she came to Jody because she knew something was wrong with Sam and Dean. She was trying to find them.
Because I can't.
And that's something that happened to Jody. That was part of it too.
I think things get confusing, but
Things do get confusing.
that last episode, I don't know if it's the last episode. So maybe I shouldn't talk about it because it could have been just recent.
In the last...
I find this whole psychic stuff, this is general, very confusing.
Okay.
The way they're showing it, because they show things happen, but then that's only what's happened in their brain. It hasn't actually happened.
Are you referring to the episode? Because there is an episode where Patience has visions, and you watch her have a whole scene in a school.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
And
That's
then it happens for real.
Yes, it gets.
Is that what you're talking about?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. I get confused because I think
understand.
it's happened. But yes.
Okay.
I'm having a hard time not saying what's recently happened.
Must
it
be
just get
something
worse.
big.
But
Well,
anyway.
because this
No, it's not
pilot's
anything
coming
big.
from. This
Yeah.
pilot is coming.
Yeah.
We're talking about up to episode 9. Episode
yeah.
10, the title of the episode is Wayward Sisters.
Yes.
There you go. Oh.
And I think
I guess
that's
it
what
already
I'm
happened.
playing in my
Yeah.
brain when I say I'm confused because
You've seen the back
it's
pilot already.
confusing. Yeah.
Okay. That explains everything.
So anyway, that's how I feel about them. Is it's confusing the way they're doing it, the way they're showing things, how it happens, because you think things happen that way, and then it turns out they didn't because that's just their psychic vision.
I don't know how I feel about the Wayward Sisters. I feel like it's really late in the game
To do a spin-off?
to do a spinoff because they're really
I
demanding.
agree. Yeah.
They're really expecting a follow through from the fans, and I just don't think that's going to happen because the fans are largely gathered around the boys. Mm-hmm. I mean, that's just the way it is. So
One of the reasons I'd rather have more Jody in Supernatural, not less,
yes.
I agree.
is my concern.
And I think it's interesting to have Kaya. I think the Kaya character is interesting. I do not think the Patience character is interesting.
Yeah.
I don't care about the psychic, and I really don't like Claire. I haven't liked Claire at all, and I don't like Claire now.
Yeah.
Claire is the blonde?
The blonde that was Castiel's host body's daughter.
Yes, that's right.
Jimmy.
Yeah. I don't like her either.
Not a fan.
I'm not a fan of her either.
So it's half of them I'll like, and half of them I'll be like meh or not like, and I just don't know how I feel about it.
Are we covering it on CPU as
We
part of this
could.
panel?
We'll see. We'll see what the panel does, how they feel about it and stuff. So and ironically she's not here, but we're going to have to cover it. One of the long-standing complaints of Kelsey was that Death died, and then there was no death,
Right.
nobody marshaling Death. Mm-hmm. But we learned this half season that not only did Billy the Reaper stay permanently dead, the first Reaper who dies after Death dies becomes Death. So Billy is now Death.
My question.
I have several, but you go
Yeah,
ahead.
my first question. There's a lot here.
There's a lot to unpack, man.
So one of my complaints is I wish they did more with the Four Horsemen.
Yes.
They kind of crammed them into 4 episodes or less.
Not a lot.
They could have done more. So Death is this the only Death? Is this the first time Death has died?
We don't know the answer to that.
I didn't think Death could die.
Well,
I mean,
That's been
But-
the complaint.
that's my complaint. Is like that just seems.
Death shouldn't be able to die,
Right.
and then if Death does die, why does Death keep happening? Because it's always been implied that the horsemen of death and what is often symbolized as death, the Grim Reaper, are one and the same. Mm-hmm. Supernatural is drawing distinctions.
They are.
So haven't explained.
There's a bunch of Reapers that I think were just acting without death.
Right.
Which, what do you need death for? They didn't need him for 2 years.
Excellent question.
Except Billy is showing us that she's deciding or pulling or helping. Who died?
Dean induced his own death to talk to the ghosts on the other side in that house. Mm-hmm. But we also found out, as Billy figured out on her own, because she's always very perceptive, that Dean was almost he had a death wish. And she said, you can't die because it says right here in this volume of columns that have a W on it that the Winchesters are important. It's not your time. So I take back all of my times of trying to keep you dead. So,
as much as there is a lot to unpack, I do like.
You want to keep it packed?
Well, maybe for a little bit.
Okay.
Because I like the change of Billy. Because I've always kind of just been annoyed, because she's never been the bad guy, but she's been there in the way with this vendetta to keep death going. But it is fun that was her goal, is to get one of the Winchesters, and now she's keeping them alive. This is one of those things, to what end? Why are they important? They've done a lot, so they were important. What do the Winchesters have left to do? Do the people writing the show know yet? I don't know.
I don't think we'll find that out until the end.
Or is the important thing guiding Jack so that he isn't evil and that he does ascend?
I almost took it. Now, there's no confirmation of this, but I think she was alluding to the final event of the show. I don't know if it's an apocalypse. We've already been there. I don't know what that is, but she said it with such a gravity that it seemed to go further beyond the season we're talking about. And I really have to believe, we talked, there was a rumor that the show would end after the 14th season. This is the 13th season. It is very possible, because they wanted to get past 300. They're going to go past 300 this season. They're very close right now. So the question would become, are they really going at 14? And I don't know. It's going to be a mutual discussion. So with that said, I think they're setting up certain I'm going to use Chris's word, dominoes, because whether they choose to knock them down or not, because the end is out there. Mm-hmm. Everybody knows the end is out there. It's just a question of when, not if, at this point. Now, is that confirmed? I don't know. The other thought that went through my head was maybe they're listening to our podcast and they've heard Kelsey complain about the fact that death is gone and people keep dying and nothing makes sense in life. I don't know.
They're addressing all Kelsey's complaints. Didn't she hate Crowley?
She did hate Crowley. Yeah. But he left, so I can't pin that on
That's what they're saying.
No, I think he really wanted to go. I think he was kind of done. I think there's a natural end coming, and I think they all see it. Mm-hmm. It's just a question of what and how. What about Cass coming back?
And him and himself?
Yes.
I told you. Didn't I?
I think
you
we
did
all...
Say, we all...
Yeah, we all kind of
He was already talking about it on social media, to be fair.
I don't...
That's what Misha
does.
Social media. Oh. Well... Misha's kind of a social media whore, much more so than the other guys. So he's on there all the time with the guys.
A Barrowman type.
He is a Barrowman type. In fact, they're friends. So, because they were on the same network for a while.
Oh, yeah.
So, I think, obviously that was going to happen, but the bigger thing is, Jack wakes him up, and he wakes up in the empty, and he's talking to himself, but like a Muppet-sounding version of himself. Who is the
keeper? Which is probably more to what Misha says.
Doesn't he annoy the thing that is down in the empty?
The keeper of the empty.
The keeper enough?
Yep, the empty predates God and Amara, and it's where angels and demons go to die.
So if it predates God, then how does it know that that's where angels and demons went? Because they weren't around. I'm going too deep.
That's just what they said, Jen. I have no answers.
How could something exist before knowing
It's an empty.
what?
It's the empty, Jen.
Time doesn't even exist there.
Time does not exist. It's kind of like the nothing in the never-ending story.
think
There's
it's
just
just
nothing.
I think it's something they just throw stuff in. Oh, let's just put them in the empty.
But it's empty.
It's full of angels and demons.
We
It's
don't
not
see
empty.
the angels and demons.
Well, because it's black.
Maybe because they're in the black empty.
Because that's what empty looks like.
Maybe so. I don't know.
I wasn't very fond of that whole thing right there, in case you didn't know.
No. I'm shocked by this revelation.
I was just glad that he came back. Cass came back.
I was too. I did not like the scene where he was talking to himself.
Yeah, I didn't either.
I didn't relate to it, and I was real happy that Cass broke out. And I hope we never see the empty again,
Me too.
because I don't think they'd ever be able to explain it.
No.
Well, just look at how we went around the circle.
We did, but then they ended up finding a guy from the Old West in that very same episode. This was that episode.
I don't think I cared for this episode.
I don't think I did either.
I think it might be my least favorite of the 9. I
It
didn't
wasn't
hate it or
very
anything,
good.
but I don't care about the Old West.
No, but I enjoyed Dean getting giddy about it. This is
Yeah,
when Dean
that's
started to
Oh,
break
that's
the
right.
spell.
Yeah.
And Jensen Ackles is natively from Texas, so he got to be a little Texan in his line delivery. That was fun. Okay, so that
This is the one, though, that it's also a turn for Jack, right? Doesn't he accidentally kill someone?
Mm-hmm.
Yes, he
Yes.
does.
That's this episode. So it's an
Yeah.
important episode.
There's a lot of stuff in it, but apparently not very good for you. Or
Maybe too much stuff.
too much stuff.
Well, yeah. Sorry, Misha. I didn't care for the jester-like version of him.
I
agree.
didn't. I didn't like it.
I agree. And then they met a crossroads demon, Bart, or Bartimus was his whole name. And he was trying to basically collect on a deal. And he had smash and grab. I can't even say that with a straight face. And Smash was a human, Grab was a demon, and he recruited the Winchesters in because nobody could handle this by themselves. And they had to do this whole Indiana Jones business to get to a place with the soul piece of it.
Yeah.
Whatever he would...
The spell, wasn't it?
The spell, yeah. Right, it was a spell to track a Nephilim.
Yeah.
They were trying to get it.
Which they ended up not getting, right?
Well, they ended up... He lit it on fire because they were not in agreement to give the whatever they were he was trying to get from
The bones.
the bones.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which they lit on fire.
They lit on fire.
And he died.
That's true.
That was the end of the part.
So this also sat well?
No, I could have, honestly could have done without that.
To me,
whole
that was
point
the weaker
plot.
one.
Yeah.
Because I thought Smash and Grab was awful stupid, and I also thought that the Indiana Jones motif was hard. Although they made a joke of it, and that's always funny when they go meta. I thought this one was a little less fun than the Empties versus the Old West episode. Because at least you got funny moments out of the Old West episode. This one was real hard to come by.
I think my favorite episode was the one where we find out Billy is death. With the haunted house.
Yeah.
I think it just had more of that supernatural feel to it.
Yeah. It was like an old school supernatural monster of the week type. But still had that larger story behind it.
One of my notes is burned by a red-haired witch. Does somebody say that?
You know, I think they do.
But I don't
feel
know
like,
who.
Right.
But I can't remember who.
I just feel like before we got to the point of Ketch saying that he got that thing from Rowena, there was a couple of things that I'm like, they keep kind of almost hinting at it.
Did they say it or did they show it? Red-haired. Did they show?
There was a witch that came in and said, because Ketch was killing witches.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
Maybe it was just leading to that.
That's right.
But he was doing that at Asmodeus' order, because they're trying to mess with the Winchesters. It was all one big cat and mouse game, and the bait was the killing of the witches, and one of the witches came to the brothers and said this is happening.
That's
so
right.
I don't remember how all the lines came out, because I was real annoyed that Ketch was back.
Yeah.
I was really happy when he died.
And we were done with the British Men of Letters.
Exactly. Well, and I don't think he's associating with the Men of Letters anymore. But Ketch is Ketch. Without Mary, he means nothing. He's dumb.
I don't even know where we left Ketch.
He was dead at the end of the 12th season.
After in this first chunk of 13. Like what?
He's down. The last time we saw him, he appeared before Asmodeus in that throne room in hell,
and
said, "Our plan went great."
Yeah.
And you're like, why is he working for a prince of hell? Because maybe he's a demon. I don't know things. He could be.
He could be a demon.
Yeah, I would buy that more. That he actually did die.
I don't know. We'll see.
I guess we'll see. Or if we never come back to it, I don't think I'd care.
This isn't voting well, guys. Sorry.
I did enjoy it. I enjoy the overall storyline. So
I did
it's
as
just
well.
nitpicking little things. But I don't know if we're ready to go to the last episode.
We are.
I liked the episode.
Okay.
It was a little cheesy, the panning out and they're in a giant dinosaur footprint.
Oh, yes. I forgot.
In the bad place.
I was like, ugh.
In the bad place that Kaya kept dreamwalking to and couldn't stop dreamwalking to. Because her relative was a dreamwalker. We see that in the first part of this episode. He's able to walk to different worlds. She's continually drawn to this one world. And that's why Jack had to help her. But yeah, in this world is a big, giant dinosaur footprint. Or maybe Bigfoot. Maybe it's Godzilla. We just don't know.
I do.
Because she's watched.
That would be a major spoiler that I cannot.
I've been pretty good. I haven't given away anything just
and
yet.
you've always said, "Is that in this episode?" So that's
because they all merged together. I don't know where they stopped.
That's why you're not supposed to watch ahead.
I know. I couldn't help it. I needed to watch something. I needed TV. Anyway,
that's how you can tell she's a couch potato unites.
So I'm asking Kylie this question. The Winchesters are in the bad place.
Yes.
Jack is in
Apocalypse World.
Yep. Where is Kaya? She stayed behind?
She's on the side of the road in this world.
Okay.
She got bounced out somehow and is lying unconscious on the side of the road when we last see her.
Alright. It was not clear exactly where she was. I knew they were all separated, and obviously Jack was.
And Lucifer and Cass are in the cage, or not the cage, but like the jail of hell. Because Asmodeus' demons ambushed him in the bar.
Wow. Alright.
You remembered that clearly, don't you?
I watched the first 8 episodes, and then I went to Disney World.
It all comes out now. So that's where we ended the mid-season. So, geez, Nick, what do you think is going to happen? Other than the Wayward Sisters backdoor pilot. Because that's what happened.
I feel like we're going to spend a lot more time with the Wayward Sisters, and not too much time with Sam and Dean in this very first episode. Like, it's going to be them trying to find them, maybe. I don't know. That's kind of what it
Jen's very tight-lipped right now. She's trying to keep a poker face, listener. It's very funny.
I'm not very good at poker.
She's not good at poker.
I'm not. You're right.
I'm not good at poker either. I'm working on it.
I'm really interested to see what Jack and Mary's relationship is, since it'll just see the two of them. He doesn't have a mother figure, and not only did he call Sam and Dean and Cass his family, but why do I always get the brothers' names mixed up?
I don't know.
Sam? Dean.
Those are the two brothers.
Dean was the one who didn't want to help Jack at the beginning.
Right.
And he at the end said, yes, you are family, or he even said something like that, where he is completely, oh, that was something I hated. I hated that in the very episode where Jack didn't want to go with the angels because they kidnapped someone and forced them to do something. Dean then kidnapped the Dreamwalker at gunpoint and threw her in the car. This is the episode 9. This is the episode we're talking about. That bothered me. And that Jack and Sam were just like, alright, I guess we're kidnapping her.
Okay, but they have a different approach or attitude toward Dean versus toward the angels that have continually tried to kill them.
I know, but Jack says, like, 2 scenes before it happens, he makes a comment that you killed and kidnapped. He says both of those things, and then they just go along. I feel like Jack and Sam should have at least said, they could have tried to convince her to go before. I don't know. Just saying, yeah, alright, I guess we're just gonna throw her in the car and drive off with her.
See, that didn't bother me because...
Bother me, I guess.
Well, because...
He put the gun on a human.
He did, but what we know about Dean and Sam are that they're not perfect, right? They're flawed individuals. They have the right idea, but they have not made the right choices all of the time. And Jack is this clay lump to be molded. Right now, he's drawing to them because they're the ones that are interested in him. The angels are like this mass force. Daddy's still out there. Daddy's back, So there's like all these different forces that are trying to influence him. And I think he's not, he's only a couple weeks old. He's not at the point of being able to say, okay, this is a principle and I should stick to it. Or I'm disturbed by this, so why are you doing this over here?
I know, but he basically said that to the angels.
He did.
That's my problem. I feel like...
angels are dicks. That's what Dean says all the time. So I was okay with it. They keep coming. They keep whining about going extinct, and yet they keep trying to kill the Winchesters.
Yeah, they're not smart.
No!
How many angels died in the last episode?
Quite a few, I think. I'm wondering how many angels are left. Who are all of these angels, and how many names do they have to come up with for the angels? They shouldn't keep killing angels. I feel that way.
Well,
but okay.
Jack killed one.
He did.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like he didn't have to because he sent the other one far away with his powers, and then the second one, he made him stab himself.
Well...
But that's fine. He was trying to kill everyone else.
He's also still getting control of all of that, too. Jack is a wild card.
He is. He seems like he's come a long way in the last episode, though.
It's
with
true.
His powers.
It's true. So what do we think is going to happen?
He's probably going to have to battle Michael.
I think that's inevitable.
Yeah.
And
Just
I
how
wonder,
soon is that, since he's in Apocalypse World right now, which is where Michael is.
Right. And how much of the personnel that are in hell right now are going to come out and be part of this?
Yeah.
And are the angels going to be part of this? What's left of them?
They're smart, they just hide.
And that's what I'm saying.
But they're not.
I don't know that I have any predictions because what's refreshing about the Jack piece, like I said at the start, is that it's not something that actually has been done, period, before, much less by Supernatural. And that, to their credit after all this time, is really, really good. And it's also making it so that I can't think ahead. I have a lot of questions, but I don't really know what I want or know what I want to see, and don't know if I see a natural next step to anything other than the girls, because they're being ham-fisted about setting that up. So
Yeah, I don't know either. We've seen Nephilim on the X-Files, but they were way different than what they're doing with Jack.
Yeah, and there was a whole belief thing around that. Because they weren't really dealing in angels and demons too much on the X-Files. It was more aliens.
Right.
That was a Scully religious episode.
It was. So many of her episodes were the best. That one is one of them, by the way. That was on my top 10. So...
It's so hard for me to talk right now, knowing that I watched more than I should have. I would like to see Sam get his powers back, and somehow that helps with fighting Michael or whatever, Jack, either one. I don't know. I still don't know if Jack is going to be good or evil. I think that's what they want right now, because I can see him going either way.
And they're almost forcing it too much, where he keeps saying that he's good, that why do you think I'm going to go with Lucifer? Lucifer's nothing to me. Like, they're almost slightly overplaying that.
Yeah, I agree, but I also, again, because he's chaotic neutral, even if that makes me a nerd, we know that he can go either way.
Right.
So, to that end, I'm along for the ride.
Yeah, I am too. I think
definitely.
the other 12 seasons all blend together, but I feel like I am enjoying the storyline a little bit more than 12.
And I want to see what happens to Mary.
Yep.
I really hope they don't kill her off. I've enjoyed her being on the show, and I hope they don't take it away again. It might psychologically crush everybody.
I'm also surprised at how much of Mark Pellegrino we're getting.
Well, he's a regular. He took Mark Shepard's place.
Oh, okay.
So they promoted him to a regular. And they also promoted the Jack actor to a regular.
I rolled my eyes. They replaced one male actor with two male actors.
I know! Okay, so this whole gender parity thing, great, but Supernatural, I mean, after all this time, it's not going to happen. I know there have been some rants, but that's why they're doing the Wayward Sisters. And they're hoping that will continue and be the thing that rides Supernatural on, and there will be 4 strong women and not, males. So...
I just grew up on Star Trek and X-Files.
I know. There's a lot of PC push right now, and we're going to talk about this when we get to our Friends panel, because I've read a lot of things that have made me angry in the past couple of weeks about Friends. New generational responses to Friends.
There's some things we'll talk about it. I mean, when it comes down to it, it's still 3 men and 3 women, which was rare in the 90s.
But key phrase being in the 90s.
Yeah.
And this show has always been about the family. And that's why I think if Mary stays, to me, that's good.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Right, that's...
yeah.
If they could have made her a series regular.
Maybe she will be one of the swaying points of keeping Jack good.
I hope so. At this point, she's trapped in a body cage, so
Yeah.
I think she'd want his help. And Michael is ruthless in that world. And Kevin Tran is trapped.
Bobby's... Like, we saw Bobby. He didn't then die in that world, did he?
He didn't.
No, he didn't.
No. In fact, his return has been forecasted in the media. And I also follow Jim Beaver on social media. And he's like, Bobby's coming back. So I was like, of course he is. That's all.
Yeah, I'm excited to keep watching.
Kill off the females, bring on the males, right?
Did they kill anybody?
I didn't say, I'm saying in general, over the life of Supernatural, it seems to be that way.
They do get rid of women characters quite a lot.
I mean, they kill a lot of people, both genders, but Crowley wasn't an original. They added him in Cass as well. It was just the 2 boys.
Yeah.
Yes.
But I like the show, so...
Long
I guess I just see Supernatural, I know maybe this is an unpopular opinion, but I see Supernatural a little differently than other properties in the nerd world where there should be more gender equality in art. Like comic books, for example, especially in the Marvel world, there are not a lot of female heroes, and that's kind of a big deal. Like, what do you have? Black Widow, maybe Miss Marvel. I guess you can add Jessica Jones. She's real reluctant about it. Stuff like that. There aren't a lot of female characters, whereas DC doesn't have much more, but at least has a few more.
And a lot of Marvels, I think, are still owned by... Like, X-Men has some strong female characters. But
Yeah.
That's owned by Fox.
Mhm.
Well, except Disney just bought 20th Century Fox.
That's true. So
So
maybe
we
we'll
don't
get
know.
a good storm.
Yeah, and Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., except for the fact that Marvel has since disavowed the property because of where that show has gone.
The future, I've heard.
Oh,
Aliens.
yes. So,
there's
weird
strong-
twist.
That's
Anyway.
for that podcast panel, which we already have, and you're on it!
No.
But I was just going to say there are strong female characters on that show.
Yeah.
Very good, strong. And there are lots of properties that I feel that about. I just don't see the same about Supernatural. I mean, I get it. I get why people are upset. But at the same time, it's always been about
The brother?
the brothers.
Right, I see that. I just, like I said, they brought in 2 different characters, and they both didn't have to be male.
True. Although, to be fair, Lucifer has been on the show before.
I meant Cass and Crowley.
Oh.
Like,
Cass
going back that
at
far.
points was female.
That's true.
You think about it, right?
Yeah, that's true. Cass had a meat suit that was female for a while. Who knows what happened to it? Her. I don't know. It's tough. Well, and they do other things wrong too. You know, there are some insensitivities that they've not been very cognizant of, but they also are I mean, it's a long life show. It's not going to change its motif this late in its life, so that's kind of where I'm at. You know, there are other things we can improve going forward, or equality. Equality.
So yes, I hope Mary sticks around.
Yes, I do too. And I think Amara will come back. I do.
I think she'll come back at the very end. Like you said, this last half of the season. Not the season, but the season of the end of the show or whatever.
And the Wayward Sisters are meant to be sort of the answer. So if you like them, support it. Jen's already shaking her head.
It's confusing.
Have they ever done any psychic stuff?
Yeah.
Early on?
Missouri.
A little bit. You're right. Missouri was on early.
They have brought other psychics on.
Right,
and the twins were pretty recently.
They were witches.
Yeah,
one of them
I was going to say,
psychic
some of the witches,
abilities.
though, they've had in the past have had psychic abilities.
Yes, this has been established before.
This has.
Now,
I don't know why I feel so differently about this specifically.
I think it's because, well, personally, I am unimpressed by the actress playing Patience.
I
That's
agree.
part of it. She's not even in a league with Loretta Devine.
Who is?
Who is, right? And I'm really mad that they killed off her character. I mean, you brought her back after all these seasons only to ignominiously kill her.
But did she really die, or is that just all a psychic vision? I'm just kidding.
No, she's
I think
dead.
she's dead.
She's dead. I'm just kidding.
So then they have this other girl. No, she's not as angsty and annoying as the Claire girl, but she's still...
The Dreamwalker? Kaya?
No. Kaya, I like Kaya. I like the potential of Kaya. I like the fact that she is Native American. I like the fact that she's got a power we have not seen on Supernatural before, kind of like Jen was saying. Patience, and maybe they'll develop her and I'll like her better, but right now the actress and what they've given us leaves something to be desired. Like, I'm not connecting to her at all. I want to. I think if they had spent more time on her relationship with... Because they had to set all that up. They had to say... I had to set, my son kicked me out. He didn't believe in my gift. Now my granddaughter might have this gift and all this business. They had to spend a whole episode just trying to talk us through that, and that wasn't worth it to me. The actress isn't connecting for me. I did not care about her coming into the psychic vision. I knew that's what they were doing, was setting her up to be one of the characters. So, no.
Just no.
Just no. I like half of them. I like Jodie and Kaya. I do not so much like Patience, and I like Claire even less. And Claire's been around for a few times.
I've never
liked Claire. I think she's meant to be angsty teen to draw in maybe younger viewers, and that's great. If you like her, I'm sorry. I know there are people that like her. I do not really like her. I understand her trauma, but I don't like her. So, is there anything else you want to say about the first half of season 13, or what you hope to see that you haven't already seen in the second half of season 13?
I think we've covered it all.
We're pretty good about that.
I think we did.
It was only 9 episodes.
I know,
I think
right?
we hit on everything.
And only half the panel. We're awesome. So, half the panel, are you going to keep watching?
Yes.
Nope. I'm kidding.
You already
lying.
I have.
I won't ask you if you would recommend the show, because I feel like the answers pretty much never changed, but also we're at mid-season, so it's kind of an awkward place to say, would you recommend the show? I won't do that. But what I will do, because we're at the end, is read the thing that goes like this. CPU is produced by Back Pocket Productions, run by yours truly, the Chief Couch Potato, and hails from Grand Rapids, Michigan. Please, if you like what you hear, take the time to rate us on iTunes, Stitcher Radio, or Google Play. That means give us stars, comments, reviews, tell us how we're doing, tell us what we can do better, what we maybe should keep on doing. Great. We like to hear that too. If you have suggestions on shows we might consider, contact us at our website, couchpotatoesunite.wordpress.com, via email at couchpotatoesunitepodcast@gmail.com, or via Facebook and Twitter, though we add new and old shows to chat about around the water cooler all the time. As always, we have several more new episodes coming down the pike. We always do. And you can find all of our old episodes by searching at our website or over the web, because we're everywhere. Make sure you subscribe to the blog, our channels, our social media accounts to stay up on our new events and episodes. Until the next time, Supernatural can only be streamed through the end of the 12th season on Netflix, so through the end of 12 on Netflix, and then the CW on its app will show the last 5 episodes, although apparently you can maybe get it at YouTube TV as well. So that's great. Jen's got the YouTube TV. I don't know what that is so much, but they do have the last 5 episodes, so go there. CPU will return to the Supernatural world following the 13th season finale in or around June. Hopefully most of our panel will have come back. If you'd like to join the panel, let us know. Until next time, keep listening, keep watching, stay tuned. Bye-bye.